Hello, yogis. So for your practice today, you will need your yoga mat, and it could be helpful for your practice to have a blanket if you have sensitive knees. There's several parts of the practice where we come down onto our knees, and so you may want that for just a little extra comfort and cushion. And to begin our practice today, we will perhaps come to a seated position. If that doesn't feel comfortable, lying down would be a great place to start your practice too. Take a couple of moments to settle in. Closing your eyes and perhaps softening the gaze if you prefer to keep the eyes open. Begin to tune into your breath. Noticing your breath without needing to change it. Also notice if you are tense or relaxed or somewhere in between. Beginning to take deeper breaths, inhaling through the nose, and as you exhale through the nose or the mouth. Full breaths in through your nose, out through the nose or the mouth. As you breathe, begin to become aware of the state of your body, quality of your mind. Where is your body holding tension? Are you feeling closed off or shut down emotionally? Where's your mind? Is your mind at ease? Is your mind restless? Are you feeling negativity? Let's take both of our hands and place them over our heart. Continue to inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose or mouth. And then ask yourself, how does it feel to place your hands over this tender area, this place where we experience love for self, love for others. Let your breath become more smooth and effortless. Feeling the flow of air moving into your lungs and then back out into the world. With each exhale, imagine you are releasing negative thoughts that may be lingering in your mind. Continue to focus on each breath. On each inhale, thinking to yourself, I am worthy. And on each exhale, I am enough. Let each inhale draw in self-love, and each exhale release what is no longer serving you. Take a few minutes to breathe and recite this mantra internally, noticing how you feel as you say these words to yourself. I am worthy. I am enough. Now visualize yourself standing in front of a mirror. And go ahead and look into your own eyes. What do you see here? Pain or sadness? Love and joy? Maybe something neutral. Regardless of what appears in the reflection, tell yourself, I love you. You are worthy of happiness. Take note that what you see in the mirror in this moment may be different from the next time that you look. Imagine that you could breathe into your heart and visualize love pouring out of your hands and into your heart. Let this love warm and permeate your heart center, filling the rest of your body. Feel a sense of comfort and calm traveling up through your chest, into your neck and head, out into your shoulders, arms, and hands, down into your ribs, belly, pelvis, legs, and feet. Allow a sensation of warmth to fill you from head to toe. Breathe here and know that love is always available for you when you need it. When you're ready, take a few more deep breaths. You can release your hands from your chest. When you're ready, you can begin to softly open the eyes. And we'll begin our physical practice in a tabletop position with some cat and cow breath. Nice and gentle, inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose or the mouth. And so often I will cue you to breathe through the nose or the mouth. And it doesn't really matter, just as long as you're finding a nice rhythmic breath. Sometimes we get congestion, particularly in the spring or maybe the fall when we're suffering from allergies. So just doing what you can in your own practice. I'm going to come back to a neutral position and start to rotate to face your right side. We're going to place our left hand down, extend the right leg back, and we're going to make a big opening through the chest and shoulder here. So maybe even drawing this right arm back. So a kneeling side plank, and we're just going to rotate from one side to the other. So as you reach up, just find this opening across this heart and chest area. You can gaze up or down or wherever it feels comfortable to you. So we're just going to alternate from one side to the other. And then maybe one more time. And when you come back to a tabletop position, let's go ahead and press back to downward facing dog. We'll pedal the heels a couple of times, just waking up the back sides of the legs, continuing to breathe. And then go ahead and set the knees down on the mat and press back to child's pose. Let's just settle in here for a few rounds of breath. Just as a reminder, I have this white bandana around my right leg. just for better sense with the video. Keeping the forearms down on the mat, we're going to shift the chest forward and come down onto the belly. Draw the hands under the shoulders. Let's lift them up and back for cobra. And then press back to child's pose. Again, let's scoop forward, cobra. And child's pose. One more time. And then tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. Stepping the right leg to the top of the mat for lunge. We'll set our left knee down, kneeling lunge, twist. Take your right hand to the low back, left hand to the right thigh. Take a gentle twist to your right. You're gonna unwind to face forward. Tuck the left foot under as we come into warrior one. Left heel is pressed down into the mat. Let's step to the top of the mat, nice and tall, mountain pose. On your exhale, drawing your hands to your heart as we sit down into chair, prayer twist to your right. Half lift, we're going to straighten out the back and the legs. Airplane arms, reach the arms back behind you. Sitting back into chair as we take a prayer twist to the left. Again, half lift. Let's reach the arms forward this time. Exhale and fold forward. Let's step back to plank. Finish through a vinyasa here. Stepping the left leg forward. Kneeling lunge, we set the right knee down. Lifting the torso upright, we'll take a twist to the left. Nice tall spine. Tucking the right foot under as we move into warrior one. Feel free to make adjustments to your body to find your hips and shoulders coming into line with the spine. Step to the top of the mat for mountain pose, reach up tall. On the exhale, chair, prayer twist right. Half lift with airplane arms. Chair, prayer twist left. Half lift, extending the arms forward. Exhale and fold forward. And a vinyasa. Let's step the right leg to the top of the mat. Kneeling lunge, twist right. Placing the left foot on the mat as we come into warrior one. Step to the top of the mat, mountain pose. Exhale, chair, prayer twist right. Half lift, airplane arms. Prayer twist, chair, left. Half lift, extend the arms forward. Exhale, fold forward. Into vinyasa. Let's set the left leg to the top of the mat. Setting right knee down, lunge, twist, left. Set the right foot on the mat as we move into warrior one. Step to the top of the mat, mountain pose. Chair, prayer twist right. Half lift, airplane arms. Chair, prayer twist left. Half lift, reach the arms forward. Exhale, fold forward. Vinyasa. Let's go ahead and come down onto the hands and the knees. Stacking shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Let's add in a spinal balance here. Alternating from one side to the other. Nice long spine. So we want to keep the belly drawing up and in. So just notice if you start to tuck the belly down, bring it nice long line. Reaching through the fingers, pressing through the back heel, toes pointing down as you extend out. You can keep your head neutral as well. And we're going to keep the body even, so just balancing by ending with the opposite side that you started with. And let's press back to child's pose. Taking a few rounds of breath, of rest here. If you feel like you need more work, feel free to add in a vinyasa or two here. You could also come to any restful position. Child's pose is usually my suggestion, but if a seated position or lying down feels better to you, feel free to move to those positions in your practice as well. Finishing your work or your rest, and our meeting place is downward facing dog. So if you are moving through the quick flow and just taking 20 minutes for your practice today, which is excellent, feel free to move into some deeper stretches in your Shavasana here. If you're looking for a longer practice, 40 to 45 minutes, we'll continue on with the work at this part of our practice. From downward facing dog, we're going to take a walk to the top of the mat for forward fold. On the inhale breath, let's lift the left leg, one-legged Tadasana, reaching the arms overhead. As you exhale, we'll step to the back of the mat. Low lunge. Go ahead and set your left knee down on the mat. We're going to turn to face right for a kneeling side plank. Either the right leg can be lifted in the air or you can place it down on the mat. Press down into your supporting arm. On your next exhale breath, come to tabletop as we sweep the right arm through. Thread the needle, drop the shoulder and ear down to the mat. Let's extend our left leg back and reach the right arm high. Twist, still pressing into the supporting arm. Bring your right hand back down to the mat. You can turn to a side plank facing left as an option, maybe kicking the right leg through to the left side and reaching the left arm into the air. Let's come back to plank facing forward. And downward facing dog, right leg high in the air. As you exhale, let's step through to the top of the mat for lunge. We're going to use our right leg as our support. So we lift into warrior three, airplane arms. Sweeping left leg through one-legged Tadasana. Again, bent knee, or you can straighten it out here. Bent or straight. Let's step out wide to face left, horse pose with cactus arms, drawing shoulder blades behind you. Open through the chest and shoulders. Let's drop our left forearm to the left thigh, side body stretch. And then side body stretch, opposite side. Nice long reach. Turn to face the front of your mat. Warrior one. So we're bending into our right knee. Let's go ahead and straighten out that leg. Fold forward halfway, airplane arms. This is a variation of pyramid pose. Again, bend into the right knee as we come to high lunge. We're rotating to the ball of the left foot. Reach the arms up tall. Nice tall spine. Hips gently tucked underneath. On your exhale breath, we'll take a yogi lunge to the back of the mat. You can have fingers on the mat. You can also add the balance here if you like. Use your hands to come down onto the mat. We're going to set our hips all the way down. Half hero pose. Our left heel is tucked in towards the left glute. Right leg is extended out. We're going to fold forward, chest towards right thigh. Lifting the body away, you're going to use your hands to help you lift back up. So we're going to come to a yogi lunge towards the back of the mat. So again, you can be hands on the floor, thigh, maybe hands to your heart. Shift your yogi lunge to the top of the mat. Again, your opposite leg that's extending out, toes are pointing upward, feeling a stretch in the inside of the leg. Let's turn to face the front of the mat for high lunge. And then lower the hands all the way down to the floor. Set the left knee down, half split. Shift your hips back. Tight hamstrings might be helpful to have blocks here on either side of the leg. Gently set your right foot back down on the mat. Come back to a kneeling lunge. Reach up tall. And then step the right leg back to meet the left. Camel pose. We're going to bring hands to the low back. Lift the chest skyward. Drop the head back. If you like, you can also tuck the toes under. Maybe a little more support here. If you have the range in your practice, you can reach one or both hands towards your heels. Let's tuck the chin to the chest. Come down into a tabletop position. If you choose to add in a vinyasa here, go ahead and step back to plank. If you are choosing to omit the vinyasa here, we can go straight back to child's pose or downward facing dog. And we'll step to the top of the mat, forward fold. On the inhale breath, one-legged Tadasana, we lift the right leg. On the exhale, gently stepping back to a low lunge, hands to the mat, set the right knee down on the mat. We're going to turn to a side plank, kneeling side plank, facing left. Again, leg can be lifted or you can set it down on the floor. Move to a tabletop position. We're going to sweep the left arm under and through for thread the needle. Extend the right leg back. And we're going to lift the left arm high for a lunge twist. And then bringing your left hand all the way down to the mat. Turn to a side plank facing right. Your option is to kick the left leg through to the right side and stack shoulder over shoulder. And then plank facing forward. Downward facing dog, take the left leg high and step through to the top of the mat. Left leg is our support. Warrior 3, airplane arms. And then we're going to sweep the right leg through, one-legged Tadasana. Bent knee or extended leg. Step wide to face right, horse pose, cactus arms. Let's take our right forearm to right thigh, side body stretch. So forearm Or if you're feeling a little tighter through the sides, you can bring hand or palm to the thigh. And switching to reach to the top of the mat. Warrior one, let's face forward. Press your right heel down into the mat. On your exhale breath, we're going to straighten out the front leg. Pyramid pose with airplane arms. Keeping the core strong. Bend into your left knee again as you come back to a high lunge. And yogi lunge towards the back of the mat. So again, you can add the balance or hands to the floor. Pause here for just a moment. And then we'll all take our hands to the floor as we help our hips down onto the mat. Half hero with the legs. Right heel's tucked in towards the right glute. Fold forward, chest towards the left thigh. And then we'll lift the torso. Use your hands to lift yourself back up as we come to yogi lunge at the back of the mat. Yogi lunge to the top of the mat. Turning to face forward, high lunge. On your exhale breath, we'll bring our hands down to the mat. Shift the hips back into half splits. Go ahead and set your foot back down on the mat as we come to a kneeling lunge. And bringing the left foot back to meet the right in an upright kneeling position, camel pose. Your version. Remember, think lifting up rather than collapsing into the low back. We're making the spine long and lifting. Let's tuck chin to chest. Tabletop position. Choosing either vinyasa or moving back to a restful position of child's pose or downward dog. And again, for your practice, you can choose if you need more work or less work. We're going to flow through that one more time. If you need more rest in your practice, stay in child's pose. Take some deeper stretches here. If you're ready for more work, we'll go ahead and come back to a downward dog. And walk to the top of the mat, forward fold. One-legged Tadasana, let's lift the left leg, reaching overhead. Stepping to the back of the mat, bring the hands down to the ground. Setting the back knee down, we're going to turn to a side plank, kneeling side plank, face right. Tabletop, thread the needle, bring the right arm through, set the shoulder and head down. Extend your left leg back and reach the right arm up into a twist. Bring your right hand back down to the mat. Side plank, any variation, facing left. Option to kick the right leg through. Plank face forward. Downward dog, take right leg high. Stepping through to the top of the mat. Right leg is our support. Warrior three, airplane arms. Sweep the left leg through, one-legged Tadasana. Step out wide to face the left in horse pose with cactus arms. Side body stretch. Let's reach towards the back of the mat. And then to the top of the mat. Warrior one, facing forward. Pyramid pose, airplane arms. Legs are straight, back is straight. High lunge, bend back into the right knee. Yogi lunge to the back of the mat. Go ahead and set the hips down. We're gonna be in half hero pose. On your exhale, fold chest towards right thigh. Let's lift the chest. Come back to a yogi lunge at the back of your mat. Walk it to the top of the mat. Lunge, face forward. Setting the left knee down, half splits. Kneeling lunge, reach the arms overhead. Stepping the right leg back, kneeling camel. Tuck chin to chest. Tabletop, vinyasa, or down dog or child's pose. From downward dog, let's walk to the top of the mat, forward fold. One-legged Tadasana, lift the right leg. Step the right leg back into a low lunge. Setting right knee down, we're going to turn to a kneeling side plank, face left. Tabletop, thread the needle, bring the left arm under and through to the right side. Extend your right leg back, reach the left arm high. Bring the left hand back down to the mat. Side plank, face right. Option to kick the left leg through. Plank facing forward. Downward dog, left leg high. Let's step through to the top of the mat. Left leg is support. Warrior 3, airplane arms. One-legged Tadasana as we bring right leg through. Let's step out wide to face right. Horse pose, cactus arms. We're going to take a side body stretch, reaching towards the back of the mat. Into the top of the mat. Warrior 1, facing forward. Into pyramid pose, airplane arms. High lunge. And yogi lunge towards the back of the mat. Use your hands to bring your hips down to the floor, half hero. Right heel is tucked in towards right glute and fold the chest forward to the left thigh. Back to yogi lunge at the back of the mat. To the top of the mat. High lunge, face forward. Setting your right knee down on the mat. Half splits. Kneeling lunge, reach the arms overhead. Stepping the left leg back. Kneeling camel pose. Tuck chin to chest. Tabletop. Add your vinyasa here. Child's pose or down dog. And as you finish through your vinyasa or holding downward dog, let's all come down to child's pose and rest here. Sometimes if you've built up some heat and you need to allow for more breath into the lungs, it might feel better to either be in a seated position, sitting back on the feet, or you can come to a cross-legged position as well. So just having the chest lifted and upright rather than down towards the ground, it can feel more open and allow for more breath to come in if that is what you need for your practice. And from your child's pose position or your seated position, we're going to go ahead and swing the legs around to the top of the mat. Place both feet on the floor. Walk the hands behind the hips, fingertips facing forward. And we're going to press our hips upward as we come into a reverse tabletop position. So lifting the hips, feel free to allow the head to drop back. Notice if you are supporting your body with the outside edges of the feet or the hands, and see if you can distribute the weight through all surfaces of the hands and feet. So equally pressing down into the thumbs as much as you do the pinkies, or the big toe as much as you do the pinky toe. Slowly lower the hips back down to the mat. Let's come to a cross-legged position. If you'd like to elevate the hips by placing your blanket or block underneath of the hips, you may do so here as well. And let's take a couple rounds of breath. Let's interlace the fingers, press the palms upward, breathe in. And then as you exhale, let's round into the spine and press the palms forward. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Releasing the hands down to your sides. Let's extend our left leg out, stepping the right leg over. Let's take a twist to our right. So you can tuck the elbow on the outside edge of the thigh, or you can also wrap the arm around the front side of the thigh. And then we'll switch, extending opposite leg, stepping the left leg over, twist to your left. We'll unwind to face forward. Go ahead and roll down onto your back and gently draw the knees in towards your chest. Releasing the legs, cross the right leg over the left. And we're going to draw the legs in for a figure four stretch. So we're grabbing behind the left hamstring. Releasing the leg. Keep the leg crossed over. We're going to drop the right foot over to the left side and go ahead and extend your right arm out, maybe taking your gaze over to the right as well. Bring everything back to the center. This time we'll cross our left leg over. Figure four stretch, reaching through to the back of the hamstring. Go ahead and release the leg. Drop your left foot over to the right side. We'll extend the left arm out, maybe turn the gaze left. And then we'll bring everything back to the center, extending out into Shavasana. Let's lie here for a few minutes today. If you need a longer relaxation session, feel free to take as much time as you need today. And we'll take some movement to just begin to awaken the body. Slow, gentle movement. If you'd like to come back to seated to close your practice, take your time to make your way there. Let's close with the breath together. Let's big inhale. And then exhale to clear it all out. Namaste.